How do I, 26F, tell my boyfriend's family I can't be there when they turn his life support off? Hello Reddit. I'll get straight to it. On New Year's Eve my boyfriend, 26M, was hit by a drunk driver when we were crossing the road. He smacked his head and he's been in a coma ever since. The doctors are giving him 10 days and after that his life support is being cut off. He won't wake up. They explained to me what's wrong with him and I did my own research. It's very clear he's essentially dead and barring some freak of nature miracle, he's dead in 10 days. His family have arranged a little get-together the day it's due to happen. I've been invited to go but I don't think I can. I just don't think I can stand there and watch as he dies. I just can't. Issue is I am sort of obligated to go. His family quite literally took me in when I came to the UK from Kosovo and for the last 14 years that I've known them they have pretty much been my family too. His older sister, 28F, is one of my closest friends and quite literally the reason I can speak English fluently now. I love them all and I owe them a lot. I spoke to his sister and voiced my concerns. She was pretty upset and lashed out a bit before telling me I need to reconsider and she won't tell the rest of the family in the hope that I will. I can't and I won't reconsider this though. I genuinely cannot watch this. How do I handle this? They are all obviously distraught themselves and I don't want to hurt them further or make them think I don't care. I really do and I love them all but I cannot do this. How do I even approach this conversation with them? Due to COVID I can't have this conversation in person either which just makes it harder. I can't go to anyone else for advice so I'm coming here. My friends are all lovely people but they're quite sheltered and wouldn't be able to help me with this. I have no one else I can confide in about this. Too long didn't read. Boyfriend was hit by a car and is in a coma. He will be taken off life support in 10 days. His family want everyone to be there including me but I can't watch him die. I love his family and am worried I will hurt them and I don't even know how to approach this conversation. I am very sorry you are going through this. If I was you I would go, but sit outside the room when they actually pull the plug. Thank you. Sorry I neglected to mention something, I'm terrified of death. I saw my family get pulled from the Kosovo mass graves and ever since I haven't really been right with it. I can't be there in any way on that day. The idea just really scares me. It's your choice to go or not go, and it sounds like you're making the best choice for you right now. It's also their choice to be angry or to not forgive you. Unfortunately, you just can't guarantee that they will. Even if you explain kindly and clearly. Please gather the other people who love you around you right now. You deserve and need support. One thought, would you be comfortable telling them what you said in the comments about your horrific experience with death in Kosovo? You shouldn't have to trot out your own trauma in order for them to understand, but there's a chance that they'll feel more sympathetic if you tell them that there's a specific reason you can't watch another loved one die. Dear God, this is so terrible. I'm so sorry for your loss. I think the best approach is telling them SMTH like I love you all. We are going through something unthinkable and I want to be there but I can't be there when they turn his life support off. I've given this lots of thought and I can't bear to see my BF dying. It's not rational. Maybe you think I should be there but I can't do it. I've survived war and losing my family. I can't bear seeing the person I love the most dying. I hope you find in your hearts the love and patience to understand this. I'll be there for you BC, you are my family. We will mourn this together but I can't be at his room in the hospital when they unplug him. I'll be outside of the room / at church / home. Thanks for understanding. Your sister-in-law lashed out BC, she's grieving. When we are grieving we can say terrible things without really meaning them. Don't hold that against her, give it time. I hope the rest of the family understands the background you come from. Don't force yourself to be there if you don't want to do it but definitely say your goodbyes before. In private, maybe the day before. Sit close to his left side and talk to him. Let him know how much he means for you and your love for him. I'm so sorry for this, Op. Hope you find the strength you need in these dark times. I'm sorry for your loss and suffering. Please ignore all the amateur would-be neurologists here talking about what he may or may not be experiencing. It's not helpful, and they have no basis for such claims. Find a way to gently tell his family that you love him and them, but it's too difficult for you to attend. You can decide whether you want to share what happened to your family. Family should understand, though it may take a while. Please get some therapy or counseling to help you through this loss, and to deal with residual issues from your family's suffering. Good luck. Can you go see him the day before to say your goodbyes? For your own sake, saying goodbye could give you some closure. However, I don't think you necessarily have to be there at the moment of his death if you absolutely cannot handle it in any way, shape, or form. I think you need to talk to his parents and ask them about visiting the day before. Tell them that you have some major trauma related to what happened in Kosovo which affects your views on death. I would not normally recommend bringing trauma up, but his sister's reaction is pretty concerning, even if it is fueled by grief. My condolences for everything you are going through, Op, and I'm sorry for the loss all of you are experiencing right now. My 26M girlfriend, 24F, of 1 year just took a DNA test and found out we're third cousins. So anyway, yeah. We've been dating for about a year now and everything's great. I took a DNA test a few years ago because I got a student discount and thought it'd be fun. She took it a few weeks ago because she wanted to confirm some parts of her ethnicity. Results came back and the ancestry section said that we're third cousins. Very perplexing news to drop on us so suddenly. We didn't really think it was probable, but we did joke about it a lot. Any idea where/what we go from here? Too long didn't read. Might or might not be bonking my third cousin for about a year. Not sure what to do next. A third cousin is like, that's a lot of people away. If one of you feel uncomfortable about it, then sure, break up. Otherwise, whatevs, keep on bonking. Not sure what to do next. Forget about it. From both a legal perspective, and genetically, there shouldn't be any problems dating a third cousin, as far as I know. Is this what you are concerned about? Personally, I wouldn't have a problem with it either. I mean, what if you hadn't taken the DNA tests? You would never have known, and you would have been fine anyways. Do nothing. There's a bit of a difference between true, genealogical third cousins, and third cousins as reported by DNA testing. When a DNA test company reports a third cousin match, what they're actually telling you is the amount of DNA you have in common falls in the range we'd expect of third cousins. But that quantity of shared DNA might also fall into the range for second cousins 3 times removed, fourth cousins, third cousins twice removed, etc. So you may be even more distantly related than the results indicate. If you are, in fact, genealogical third cousins, you have one set of great-great-grandparents in common, out of 8 sets. At your age, that means that your family lines split about 100 years ago. 100 years of entirely separate family history. You're about as related as 2 strangers from the same small town. And, most importantly, you weren't raised as family. You have nothing to worry about here. If you totally can't get over it, respectfully part ways. But I truly don't think it's worth ending a good relationship over. Fun fact, pretty much all Ashkenazi Jews, who don't have a non-Jewish parent, are genetically 3rd to 5th cousins. Not because we're in the habit of marrying our cousins, but because there's so few of us and there was a pretty severe genetic bottleneck way back. I'm a proper old grandmother and I think you just make the "that's fine" cut. Third cousin romances are okay. My 30th fiance's 25M, drinking has me at my wit's end. I don't know what to do. Too long didn't read. Partner drinks to excess, keeps me up on work nights repeatedly and makes my life difficult whilst in a drunken stupor. Contemplating my life with this man and if it will be like this forever. I'm 30F, he's 25. Since COVID hit, my partner's drinking habits have increased significantly. It's gone from 1-3x a month to 1-3x per week. He's stacked on a lot of weight from the drinking. When he drinks, he doesn't just stop at a couple, he drinks to excess, until he's drunk and then some. For the last 4 or so months now, I've started working Sundays/weekends. I've had numerous conversations with him about not drinking on the nights I have to get up for work because he always, without fail, will keep me awake the night before. Either by banging around the house in a drunken stupor, yelling at his game, vomiting, or just being a drunk nuisance in general. Around that time, I had a talk with him and expressed my concerns about his drinking and told him that I felt like it was getting out of hand and he needed to reel it in. This fell on deaf ears as it didn't seem to stop or sink into him despite him telling me he was going to curb it. In November last year, his father passed away. It was traumatic and all around an awful experience, and my partner has taken it hard. He was close to his father and is struggling with the grief. I feel terrible for him and decided to cut him some slack on the drinking and put my concerns aside for a little while whilst he got himself through the initial stages of grief. But tonight was a breaking point. I feel like an asshole. I yelled at him, I blew up, I couldn't hold it in anymore. He went out drinking with his friends, and asked me to come pick him up at 1 a.m. I had work the next day, however I agreed to picking him up. I got him home, got him onto the couch with a vomit bucket. He vomited once, then laid down, and I went to bed. About 10 minutes later, I heard him banging around the kitchen, so I get up. He vomited all over the living room wall, the curtain, the kitchen sink, the kitchen cabinets, the floor, and all over himself. He gets into the shower and rinses off, and I just lose my cool. At this point it's 2 a.m. and I'm up, on a work night, cleaning up vomit. I shouldn't have yelled, but in the moment I was so heated over the situation and I just couldn't believe I was in this position again. This isn't the first time he's kept me up after vomiting everywhere or spilling drinks all over the place and leaving me to clean it up because he's too rotten drunk to do it. He got upset with me and tried to blame it on the grief of his father dying, but I wasn't having it. This is not the life I envisioned for myself at 30. I want to buy a house, have kids, build a career. But I feel like, despite the bond we share, this might be a massive deal breaker for me. I don't want to live the next 5 years, cleaning up vomit from my drunken partner whilst I wait for him to mature. Told him he needs therapy, for his grief and every other issue. His family have a big drinking culture and his mother pushes him to drink at every opportunity. I didn't grow up around alcohol, so my view is very different. Whilst I don't mind a drink every now and then, I don't feel the need to write myself off multiple times a week. Anyway, if you've made it this far, thanks for reading. I'm just so stuck. I love this man so much. At his core he is a good person, but I just can't deal with this. Am I the asshole? I feel so much guilt for getting angry at him. You ain't not in the wrong here. He is taking advantage of you. He needs help. If he doesn't want to go get help to fix this relationship, then that shows you that he doesn't care about the relationship as much as you do. This sounds bad. I'm so sorry. Strongly suspect that he will keep up the drinking and eventually it might even become more often. I feel like I might have left the vomit for him to clean up the next day when he woke up. Would he have cleaned it then? Do you think? Why should you have to clean it? I mean, I get that it is disgusting to leave it, but it's also horrible to have to clean up someone else's vomit at 2 a.m. You think that you can solve his drinking problem? You are wrong. You are not the reason he drinks, which means you are not the solution. You must accept people for who they are. If a partner is required to make drastic changes in order for a relationship to work, the rely will never work. The person he is today is a person with a serious drinking problem. Either accept him as he is, or walk away. There is no third option. I know that you think staying and nagging him is a viable option, but it's not. It will only make the two of you mean and bitter. It's time to walk away.